When you think of esteemed royal families, several names might come to mind. The House of Windsor, the House of Lords, and maybe the House of Dragon.
Bruh.
But few have matched the power, the influence, and the sheer extravagance of the House of Saud. Yes, that is their real name. Supercars, yachts, famous paintings, yachts with famous paintings on board. This family leads a life so luxurious that even billionaires like Bill Bezos or Jeff Gates can hardly keep up. Comprising of 15,000 people, the top 2,000 hold the majority of the wealth, estimated to be around $1.4 trillion with a T, making them 16 times richer than the British royal family, who've had to pay a lot of settlements recently for some reason.
Because going to Pizza Express in Woking is an unusual thing for me to do.
Although it's not disclosed, many speculate that the current de facto crown prince, Mohammed bin Salman, is worth around $25 billion. Not bad for someone named after a fish. In this video, we're going to look at some of the coolest and craziest shit that the House of Saud has purchased, including their most expensive possession. All while asking ourselves if enough is ever enough. Where do you draw the line between luxury and insanity?
Thank you very much, everybody. It's a great honor to have the Crown Prince with us.
The magnificent Ali Yamaha Palace is the official residence of the King of Saudi Arabia. Built in Riyadh in 1983, the palace has over 1,000 rooms and facilities. Movie theaters, a mosque, multiple swimming pools, and even a bowling alley for a friendly round with foreign delegates. And probably a few off-the-books torture chambers as well. If that wasn't enough, the king has another palace that he uses as a holiday home just outside the city. US President Obama visited there and was treated to lobster, lamb shank, and jeweled rice, which I believe is rice with jewels mixed in.
My sorry is to call my teeth hurt.
Oh, your teeth hurt, huh? Your teeth hurt? Well, that's too freaking bad!
If you want any more confirmation of just how poor you really are, this house has gold-plated tissue boxes to match the solid gold chairs beside them. Yeah, I also feel that stinging pain of poorness and shame. Oil wealth at its finest.
You tell him I don't care! $1 billion is chump change.
But wait, it gets worse. The Saudis are enthusiastic art collectors, and they regularly compete in dick-swinging contests for the most expensive shitty art in the world.
Oh, Jesus! Oh, God! Oh, Jesus, God!
A bidding war broke out between MBS and his Qatari rivals to acquire the most expensive painting in the world, Salvador Mundi, by Leonardo da Vinci himself. MBS goes balls out and puts down an unmatched $450 million to grab the famous painting. He even designed a private gallery for this masterpiece, hoarding it all to himself. Now for those of you who'd like to show off your own private gallery, filled with your macaroni art and empty trophy shells, boy do we have a special treat for you today. In partnership with our sponsor Masterworks, we're not sponsored at all, never mind. In 2015, their Qatari rivals scooped up a Picasso for a cool $160 million, but it stays in a private gallery, La Femme d'Alger. But this painting will never see the light of day again, as it tragically contains boobies.
She has magnificent breasts.
Oh, won't somebody please think of the children?
When you have so much more money than you could possibly know what to do with, what do you do with it? Maybe you can fund children's hospitals or find a cure for Lou Gehrig's disease.
You ever think what a coincidence it is that Lou Gehrig died of Lou Gehrig's disease?
But that's boring. Just start building palaces on the sea instead. After all, Crown Prince MBS is an unrivaled visionary of his time. So to prove it, he builds a $400 million yacht named Serene. But there is nothing serene about this monster. It might very well be one of the few things that can be seen from space, other than the Great Wall of China and my parents' disappointment. The yacht contains a giant internal seawater swimming pool and 2 helipads just in case one is broken. An underwater aquarium, as if there wasn't enough water inside the boat already. And of course, a snow room. When you don't want to go to the Swiss Alps, you can just bring the Swiss Alps to you. He probably brought Salvador Mundi aboard the yacht just in case it got lonely back at the gallery.
Where's the picture gone?
But not to be outdone, the Prince's yacht is one of the largest to be built in the 21st century and has a gym, sauna, beauty salon, cinema, and swimming pool. It even carries surface-to-air missiles and an underwater surveillance system, just in case of sharks.
Feel it. Let's go.
Yo, what's wrong with you, man?
But you wouldn't expect the Saudis to be content building palaces on the land and the sea only, right? When you have this much money, the only way left to go is up. That's exactly what the Saudi boys have done by taking the largest commercial Boeing 747 and turning it into a mansion. It even has a throne, for God's sake. But the worst part is that the plane has sat abandoned for the last decade because the Sultan died and never used it. What a shame. While the family flies in private jets, it's not uncommon for them to book out public flights for their army of falcons to sit with the rest of us filthy animals. I wonder what in-flight meal they ordered. Perhaps jeweled rice?
That's not funny, you sick fuck.
Traveling through the air in a floating mega mansion is nice, but what do they do when they need to travel by land? They say diamonds are a girl's best friend, but girls aren't allowed to drive in Saudi Arabia, so the boys cover their cars in gold instead. The most egregious is Turk bin Abdullah's fleet worth $22 million. Rolls-Royce Phantom Coupe, Mercedes G-Wagon, the refined and timeless classic Bentley Coupe, and of course, the Lamborghini Aventador Superveloce. He's often spotted around the affluent Knightsbridge neighborhood in London driving his $1.2 million gold-plated Lambo.
Well, what color's your Bugatti?
Gold, apparently. But like all people with more money than they could ever spend, the Saudis need something to do with their cash while they come up with ideas for more crazy shit to buy. The most impressive of all of their assets is the Saudis' public investment fund, managed by mortgage-backed securities himself. Worth $620 billion, the fund is now beginning insanely ambitious projects like the Neon Skyscraper and the Red Sea Project, which I presume will attempt to part the Red Sea as Moses did so his people can escape the brutal heat of the Arabian desert.
Let my people go.
The fund holds major stakes in Uber and Credit Suisse. Nice. But their most savvy deal was the purchasing of the prestigious Premier League club Newcastle United for $408 million.
On hearing their club's been bought by a consortium led by a Saudi Arabian sovereign wealth fund.
The prince was accused of sports washing, so he called his capable friend and drunken fifth Beatle, Boris Johnson, to make the deal happen. And he did. So, there you have it, brokies. This is what happens when you have all the money and power and women in the world. Beyond that, there's nothing else to aspire to, really. What else could you possibly do? Buy a famous painting, put it on a yacht, and cover it in gold? What's the point? But just to hurt you a little bit more, MBS recently spent $100 million on a 4-week holiday in Morocco. I've got about $100 to my name, so if 1 million of us all chip in, we too can live like the House of Saud and take a month holiday in Tangier.
It's time for the cameras to go. Yeah!